The Valorant First Strike series has reached its finale with regions from around the world crowning champions. We could go over every single regional tournament, but let's focus on the most important one, and of course that is North America. Matt, pretty much everyone was saying TSM was going to take this thing home, but Hiko went absolutely nuts and nabbed the trophy for 100 Thieves. What happened, man?
Look, 100 Thieves just hit their peak a lot earlier than what people expected. A lot of people were expecting 100 Thieves to eventually hit this mark. They have such a talented roster, you know, with Nitro, Steel, Hiko, and then the two younger players they get with Asuna and Dicey, and they've just kind of reached their peak a lot earlier than people predicted. I thought 100 Thieves could become the best team in North America. I thought it would take a little bit longer than this, though.
Yeah, again, right, 100 Thieves made the decision originally to build their roster around Hiko, and at first surrounded him with former PUBG pros that I knew, and I was like, hey, this is a good idea. They're great shooters. Got rid of all four of them, brought it back, a brand new roster, getting Nitro, getting Steel, two big names from the Counter-Strike scene, and they find success in the first major. I love the fact they were able to do that, and Asuna coming up huge multiple times there, 400 Thieves. It was a ton of fun, and I kind of wonder how much of this is on TSM kind of choking it there in the finals.
You know, TSM actually played really good throughout the entire thing. You know, TSM beats Envy in the semifinal, who Envy was largely considered, you know, the favorite for the entire thing after, you know, their performances in the closed qualifier. So I think even though TSM lost, they really put out a good effort with the triple duelist setups, and they look great for the future as well.
Yeah, they do with their unique strategy. Even though it was a 3-0 loss, Hazed came out in an interview saying, hey, you know what? I know we lost 3-0, but we were right there in every single one, and I think we are still the better team overall, even though we weren't able to put it out in First Strike. All right, now let's take a look at the fallout after the First Strike tournaments. With the formerly dominant G2 getting knocked out in the semifinals in Europe and Cloud9's roster underperforming here in North America based on expectations, Matt, why are all these teams starting to make roster swaps right now after the first big tournament?
Well, it has to do with the Valorant program coming up here in the next year. Your team kind of accumulates points throughout the year, depending on how you do in a lot of their different tournaments that are going to be ongoing. And those points will award your team and organization a slot for the championships at the end. There is roster rules though for this. You can see how kind of somebody could kind of go crazy, you know, have like kick everybody out and then just kind of hold the spot. You have to have a majority of your team to keep the points that you earn during the year. So you're going to see tons of roster movement from now until the first event as teams try and solidify who they're going to play with for the rest of 2021.
So the big one that I know of is over at Cloud9. Tens and Friends, as Cloud9 was mostly known as before they got signed, are going to try the 100 Thieves route and build around Tens and find him new friends for Tens. So that's the big one that I'm looking at. But what are some of the other moves that you're looking at here after this First Strike roster shuffle?
Well, I think in North America, you're exactly right on. I think it'll start from C9 and kind of trickle its way down with C9, depending on what they decide to do with their roster. And then you look over in Europe, G2, who's been incredible. You know, they didn't really drop any tournaments up until this First Strike. They made moves. You have FPX in Europe, who was probably like the second favorite. They end up losing in the semifinals as well. They look like they're going to make some moves. So I think you have a lot of players at the top of the game really questioning who they're playing with going into 2021.
Thanks for tuning in. Check out more great moments on our YouTube at Watch VENN and full episodes on our website at venn.tv.